Hi everybody, it's Aluna Michaels, Esoteric astrologer, now using the term quantum astrology. Some exploration in that area, more to come about that. But today we're going to talk about the astrological events of September 2016. Okay, so much to talk about. Now, one of the things that isn't so big of a deal, but everybody likes to know about Mercury Retrograde. We just went into a Mercury Retrograde the last few days of August. I forgot to write that down. The 30th of August. We are going to be in Mercury Retrograde until the 21st of September. And if you follow this, Mercury goes retrograde, went retrograde at 29 degrees of Virgo. It goes direct at 14 degrees of Virgo. And also, if you like to follow, once Mercury catches up with itself and starts covering the new territory, that is on the 7th of October. But, Mercury retrograde is just about, going within, meditation, opening your mind to greater possibilities, and especially in Virgo. I just want to talk about Virgo because we're also having this new moon eclipse today. I'm doing this on September 1st in Virgo. And of course, sun signs in Virgo, right? Most of the month of September. But about letting go of self-criticism. It's like, when you're doing the self-criticism stuff, you're also locking yourself into this old belief system that is limited, and it's almost like you want to be able to have fun, but it's like the inner critic or something. Oh, you got to do this first, or, kind of like if you get dessert after dinner and then, but you think you finished all the peas, like, oh no, you need 2 more peas. Like, well, I thought I finished the peas. No, can't have any fun yet, And it's like this Mercury retrograde in Virgo is, how do you do that to yourself? How do you not allow yourself to have fun and enjoy and give yourself more tasks and things like this? And, or don't feel you deserve to enjoy when you are doing the thing you're enjoying. You're not letting yourself enjoy it. What's that about? So this Mercury retrograde can be about that. And even this, eclipse that we're having is very door opening, mind opening. And let's talk about the eclipse now. Mercury retrograde, no. Don't worry about that. Stop worrying about Mercury retrograde, everybody. People seem to freak out when it goes retrograde. And, let me say this about this Mercury retrograde that's actually kind of great, is that when Mercury retrograded, it was right next to, conjunct, Venus, which is love, and Jupiter, which is abundance and also love and the sense of enjoyment and flow and everything. So that's again why this Mercury retrograde, not only that it's in Virgo, but it's next to those signs saying, time to enjoy yourself is now and all of that. So, and being in the moment and loving the moment and getting out of your own way to be able to enjoy the moment. So that's even more underscored by where Mercury went retrograde. Okay, so this new moon eclipse that we're having, eclipses have a resonance of about 6 months. And when we have the second, there's another new moon eclipse in February. Basically, here's the one in Virgo happening. And then we have another new moon eclipse in February, kind of the same degree, of Pisces. So it connects on that same polarity. And so in a way, and then that eclipse goes for 6 months. So we have like a whole year of this kind of energy about freeing from limitation. And when it gets into Pisces, we'll talk about that in 6 months. But that opposite part of Virgo is the bigger picture and releasing the fears. And when we get into Pisces, it's more about how you can take little steps to make the big picture happen. Because sometimes Pisces is like you're standing looking at the vast possibility and go, what do I do? And then the Virgo says, do this, do this. But how Pisces helps Virgo, which is right now, is like, you can have it all. Oh, no, I can't. I got to do this. No, you can, Pisces says. Open, 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 okay? So here's the backstory with the eclipse. And I've talked about this a lot last month and a few previous months. Since beginning of 2015, Mars and Saturn started doing this dance. And if you know some astrology, this dance happened around 9 degrees of Sagittarius, okay? Mars wants to go do stuff, and Saturn is like, no, you can't. So it's kind of like that same thing about stifling your enthusiasm and feeling like you can't go forward or go ahead or get ahead or nothing you do makes a difference and all this kind of challenging stuff. If you've been on some sort of spiritual path or you're trying to improve a relationship or your health or, career stuff, it can feel like you've done all this work and then you get one little result, doesn't even match up. Well, the fact that Mars passed Saturn and sort of opened this door at late in August, it's like you've broken through. But you might feel less constrained, but maybe not a lot of results yet. This is where this eclipse comes in. The new moon eclipse at 9 degrees of Virgo is making an angle to that, and saying, no, the door is open, fresh mind, open to these new possibilities, believing you deserve the results, all of this. So it's challenging you to really open up and to be able to bring in what you've been so praying for, wishing for, trying for, okay? So that's that eclipse. Now, when we get into the later part of the month on September, I have the notes here, the 16th of September, eclipses come in twos. We have a new moon and then a full moon eclipse. The full moon eclipse is Sun in Virgo, Moon in Pisces, and that one is at 24 degrees. Sorry, my cell phone. 24 degrees. So if you have things, oh, by the way, I want to say with this new moon eclipse, even if you don't have it hitting a planet, or connecting with a planet, because this Mars-Saturn junk has been so, you have it somewhere in your chart. Like where is that 9 degrees Virgo in your chart? And where is the 9 degrees Sagittarius in your chart, if you know it, to see where it's been blocked and how is it opening up, this kind of thing. So this full moon eclipse that's coming is less harkening back to old stuff, like this new moon is trying to free you from all that pattern. So this full moon eclipse is a little different. But the full moon is on Chiron, and I don't talk a lot about Chiron, but it is not a planet. It's I think it might be a comet that got caught in our solar system, and it's between Mars and Uranus. It has about a 50-year orbit, but Chiron is about the wounded healer and claiming your own healing potential. And there's a wonderful book if you're interested in Chiron, and it's called Chiron and the Healing Journey. Melanie Reinhardt. This wonderful book. But there isn't a lot of stuff out there about Chiron, but you can explore where Chiron is in your chart and what it means and stuff. But so this full moon on Chiron in Pisces is, having compassion for yourself and your spiritual path and your shortcomings, and where you fall backwards and need to re-experience things, so that full moon gives that level of compassion. But it also can be compassion for other people who, as you're going forward leaps and bounds, other people that are caught in their old stuff, and maybe how to support them or how to just hold them in love and not get pulled back into your own lower stuff. You know how that can be. So how do you love them and not get into it? Like the Al-Anon program talks about loving detachment, kind of like that. So that's the full moon eclipse. Now, here's the other exciting news. Yay! And of course, Jupiter's awesome wherever it is, right? It's a planet of being awesome and easy and fun and all that kind of thing, as well as spiritual quest and all that Jupiter is. Jupiter is changing signs. It's going from Virgo to Libra. And not that Jupiter in Virgo is bad at all, but it's done. We've done a year of that. Jupiter has a 12-year orbit, so it goes through a sign for a whole year. And, sorry, I need some more water. That's always nice when we say, okay, we've worked with that, let's go into this. So Jupiter in Libra, yay, yay, yay. I have a lot of Libra in my chart, so I love Libra. But Libra is definitely about relationships and partnerships. And when Jupiter goes into Libra, especially if we go back to this idea of that Mars and Saturn being so stuck and people being able to deserve pleasure and joy and all of this that the new moon eclipse is, then we go into this Jupiter going to Libra, a lot of people wanting to release and forgive, to say like, I'm done with that type of suffering. I'm ready to have joy. I'm ready to share myself. I feel worthy. I'm good. It's good for me to be in a relationship. I have something to offer. So this Jupiter going to Libra is people being eager to connect. And, like if you've already done that website over and over again, try going on that dating website again and see what kind of new characters are coming on to the websites, or smile at that nice person in the store or whatever, and think, they're not horrible and they're not going to be another broken try at love or whatever. It's like, maybe this is the perfect person for you, Oops, sorry. My computer was going a little dark there. So this idea that people are wanting to compromise in relationship, they want to learn about bonding and blending and connecting and how to overcome old things in a way that's not so hard. It's like you've done all that work, and then you meet that person and you say, yeah, I know that's a thing in me, but I can work with that, or I can work with you having that thing, and it's not going to rustle me too much. So it's Jupiter in Libra is that real feeling of returning to love, returning to feeling you deserve love and joy, and people are kind of awesome. And relationships aren't so bad, or that the thing won't happen again. It doesn't have to happen again. And even if it starts happening, that pattern starts happening when Jupiter's in Libra, somebody is compassionate towards you about it, or that isn't a big thing for them, or whatever the thing is. It's not a big deal to them, and you feel less shame about it, and it doesn't become an issue, or you're able to work through it this time with this person, whatever. So please, just if you're single, date, try, open your heart. If you're in a relationship, similar idea, that you're opening to each other in a new way, that you can have this sense of romance again together, which is Libra, and especially this idea that you're clearing out your own old shame, or the pattern of the habit of how you've been with that person, to be able to clear out those habits and maybe imagine, what was it like when you first met? What was that energy like? What did you appreciate about them? How did you feel when they appreciated you? So you can recapture that within yourself if it's something about self-critique stuff. But to be able to recapture that sense of grace, of a honeymoon phase kind of thing, is part of Jupiter in Libra. And not to just have a honeymoon, just have a honeymoon, but because you're falling in love with yourself through that person's eyes again, and it's taking it to a new level of being able to meet at this higher level of love. Instead of, it's like, you're bringing your highest self, instead of just your basic selves meeting at the beginning of the relationship, you're renewing things, like a vow renewal kind of idea, and you're meeting from this higher sense of self that you now have to show one another because of the work you've done. So that's another part of Jupiter going into Libra, and it is for a whole year. Another thing is that Pluto is going to go forward. Pluto, unlike Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year, back and forth, no big deal. Pluto, and all the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, go retrograde once and forward once. So on September 25th, 26th, Pluto goes forward. And that's wonderful because Pluto is just a wonderful cleansing that even can be interesting on a physical level. A lot of times in the fall, people like to do some sort of health cleanse or something like that. It's great for doing a yard sale and getting rid of old stuff, So Pluto can be releasing stuff, but also, again, releasing these things that burden you. It's like shame issue stuff. It's just like, what is this all about? I just listened to this wonderful, it was called The Mind Body Code, and it's by Mario Martinez. And I happened to listen to the sessions he had on CD. They were like kind of sessions that had kind of meditations along with them and stuff, but he also has a book. And he talked about shame and the biochemistry. He's what's called a psychoimmunologist, how your thinking impacts your health. And the new research they're doing on the feeling of shame and the emotion of shame and how it impacts inflammation in the body, and it causes a different kind of stress than anger does. So they do a lot of research about cortisol and anger and all that. But and that's more of a Mars thing, anger and stuff, but shame is kind of more of a Saturn Pluto thing. And this idea that shame shuts down, increases inflammation. And a lot of people talk about inflammation is the big thing, people on the fish oils and the turmeric and all that, curcumin, whatever, and how it's a basic cause of disease. So it's interesting about that idea of shame. And so this Pluto going forward, again, with all this Virgo work that we're doing about releasing shame and being able to operate from a new standpoint in yourself. So maybe doing a little look about that, about how you get used to feeling shame or not good enoughness, which is kind of a little cousin of shame, that kind of thing. So this idea of Pluto moving forward, it sort of reminds us about those Plutonian issues, about releasing what we don't need, whether it's, junk in the house, junk in your mind, junk in the body, whatever. So, and so you can really enjoy making more room to be loved by yourself, loving yourself, other people loving you, the feeling, the tree, the air, whatever it is, that you're in communion with all of these energies, whether it's a person or your own love and the universe, this kind of thing. So that's the highest way we can do the Jupiter and Libra, but the more room you make for that, the better. So that's part of the other process with the Pluto and the Virgo things we're talking about. So if you want to have a session with me, please contact me through my website, alunamichaels.com. You can call or text my cell phone, 248-583-1663, or connect with me through YouTube, how you all do. And have a wonderful September and enjoy everything. And just let the magic happen. Bye.